Hey guys, it's T from T's Jams, and I'm here to give you another tutorial today. Ha ha ha, I know it's so corny. This one is about animation asset sheets. We're going to go over what you can do to include your own animation assets to the MV engine. What I have here is what's called ICE 5, I believe? Yes, ICE 5 in the MV engine. It's a default asset. So this sheet is included with the MV engine when you buy it. I've already sectioned off each one of these images with a grid. So let's check out the size of the grid to see how big each one of these boxes are. As you can see, each one of these boxes is 192 by 192 pixels. Now, unlike the battler and the sprite sheet that we saw before, that size cannot be modified. In order for it to be selected correctly in the engine, each box has to be 192 by 192 pixels. Also, each one of your sheets has to be at least 5 columns across for a total of 960 pixels. This sheet has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows as well. And that's also a total of 960 pixels, but you don't have to stick to that. I'm going to show you a couple of different variances that you can use with this as well. As you can see on this sheet, we have our boxes of 192 by 192 pixels. We have 5 columns, but only 1 row. We're going to look in the engine and see how this works out. I have another example over here too. Again, we have our boxes sized at 192 by 192. We have 5 columns, but in this one, I added 60 rows. We're going to see how many rows we can put inside the engine. If you could put 60, or if it's less, or maybe even more. We're going to check it out. Let's go on over to the engine and check it out. Okay, here I have the 3 sheets that we looked at in GIMP, and this is the default sheet, the first one that we'll look at. This comes with your engine, and again it has 5 columns and 5 rows, and each box is sized 192 pixels by 192 pixels. And as you can see, it selects each image quite nicely. Let's check out the one with only 1 row. Okay, so this works as well. And now let's check out the one with 60 rows. Oop, get out of the way. Alright, let's see. You cannot put 60 rows in the engine and use all those images. I went ahead and counted how many showed up, and I was able to use 42. So it seems that you have a limitation of 1 to 42 rows for your animation sheets. Now, just because it's sized at 192 pixels by 192 pixels, it doesn't mean that you can't resize your characters. Inside this editor, you can use the options on this side, and I'll show you how to do that now, to resize your characters quite a bit. We're going to go ahead and check out the limits now. Let's say we want to resize this little ice lady thing. We're going to go to Batch and select Scale. You'll notice that you can scale your animation image down to 10%. It won't go any lower than that, and that equals 19.2 pixels by 19.2 pixels. Or, on the other end, you can go up to 1000%. It won't go any higher than that. And in that case, you have an image that's 1920 pixels by 1920 pixels. I don't think anybody's going to use that, but the engine's capable. Let's take a look at what it looks like with the tiny one. Most people probably won't use that small either. Hello? Are you there? What are you? Okay, anyways, that was fun. As you can see, adding custom animation sheets to the engine is actually really simple and straightforward. I'm going to go back to GIMP and show you the process of saving that into the engine. There are 2 different ways that you can do this, and I didn't cover this in the other videos. So this also applies to sprite sheets and battlers and the other sheets that I'm going to go over in the future. In the GIMP program, instead of saving your images, you would want to export them as a PNG file. You can name it whatever you want. This one I named ICE5-4. This was the one where I tried to do 60 rows. Lots and lots of rows. Now you can either export your file into the game file of your game. We can find that wherever your game files are stored. You go in, select your image folder, your animation folder, and go ahead and save it directly in the folder. When you open MV, it should be available. There's another way that you can import files into your game. In the MV engine, there's something called the Resource Manager. You can click that after you've chosen the folder that you'd like to import your image file to. Click the Import button, and you will be able to find that file wherever you stored it in the computer. There's another way to get your image files into the game. This works for all the assets that I've done tutorials for, and I'll make sure to mention in the future tutorials whether or not it will work for them as well. So that's it. This is really short and easy this time. If you'd like to make your own custom animations, setting them up and getting them in the game is the easy part. Drawing them, I'd imagine, is the hard part, but I don't know, you guys saw how good I can draw. It's super easy for me. I hope you're able to use the information in this tutorial. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see my future tutorials, I'm going to try and cover every way that you can add your custom assets to your game. If you have any requests or suggestions for something you'd like me to cover, definitely let me know in the comments below. And as always guys, until next time, bye!